Welcome back, guys. In this video I'll be working on a C3 Corvette. So anything from a 68 to a 82 Corvette, it's the exact same procedure. And these cars back here have a little gasket where the gas cap is, and usually those things deteriorate. And in the case of this car, as the person's driving, he could smell gas. The gas fumes are very strong inside the car. Another issue you might have is when you wash the car, water might get in here and it could get into your gas and it could cause drivability problems. And that gasket's around here. Now, the way I diagnose this issue is over here in this grate. I can't show you because it's very hard to see. The gas tank goes like this and it's all wet over here. You can see it's dripping down and it's very strong smell of gas over here. And this is what the gasket looks like. This is from Zip Corvettes, and that's the part number. So let's begin. Alright, first thing, pop this up. There's 4 Phillips head screws over here. Go ahead and take those off. Now be very careful, these old cars, sometimes they're very rusty and these things might snap and break, but this car is in really excellent condition. So go ahead and take the other 3 off. And now this comes right off. Just gotta pull it out. Now take the gas cap off. Okay, next thing I like to put, you can put a rag in here. In this case, I'm just gonna put some paper towels in here so nothing falls into the gas tank. That should be good. And now, go in here, you're gonna feel there's a rubber piece over here. You go above it and try to pull it out with your fingers. Let me see if I can go in there. See right there? Alright, go ahead and do that. Just like that. And pull it up and out. Just like that. Okay, now as you can see in here, you see that's the old gasket. It actually squeezed out and it's deteriorating. And as you can see around it, it's wet. It's wet all around over here. And that's the gas coming out, sloshing out. Now there's 9 bolts all around this ring over here where the gasket is housed. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. They look like. And what I do, I just put my finger right underneath the head of the bolt and it'll come out just like that. And now you could just probably just, yeah, this was all deteriorated, so this comes off really easily. Be very careful, you don't want stuff falling in the gas tank. Slowly but surely comes right out. And take a look at that. Look how badly deteriorated that gasket is. And that's what's left on here on the gas tank. And as you can see, nothing fell inside the gas tank. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a rag or paper towel underneath here, because these bolts, these holes go through here. I don't want anything to go underneath and into the gas tank. So I'm going to work on one section at a time with the razor blade. And I'm just going to scrape the surface over here of any old gasket material. So go ahead and do that. I'm try to clean this as much as I can. I'm going to try and not get anything into the bolt holes over there. see, it's nice and clean. And once I'm done, I could just pull the rag out and it's going to have all the material from it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all around over there. Okay, I'm done. So I'm going to take some brake cleaner and spray the surface that I just cleaned, and I'm going to do the same thing with the rag underneath the holes. We go all around here and do the same thing. So that's all done. Now the underside of this ring, look at that. There's practically no gasket left here. Same thing, go around with the razor blade. And clean all this stuff up. So now I'm going to go around with the razor blade and just scrape all the old material off. Now another way of cleaning this would be using a die grinder with this soft rubber bristles over here, and just go around it and clean it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Look at that beauty, nice and clean. Now I'm also spraying some brake cleaner in here to clean the top of this ring. Make sure there's nothing that's going to fall into the gas tank, and just blow this out. Now one thing also I want to mention, these have rubber O-rings on them, and 3 of our bolts came with the rubber rings on them when they came out, and there's 1, 2, 3 that are missing here, so those are accounted for, and the rest, the rings, are in the grooves. Okay, now I just want to show this on camera. You see this here, this flange? It's very wavy. If you get that on camera. It's very wavy. So I'm going to try to get it as flat as possible because I don't want any leaks from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this flat surface here, like this. I'm going to take a punch, I'm going to flip it around, and this is a bump over here, so I'm going to go ahead and try to flatten that out. I'm just going to go around this thing, try to flatten it out as much as possible. Now would you look at that? Nice and straight. Alright, I'm going to use some gasket sealer on this cork gasket, just because the surface where the gas tank is also isn't that straight. So I'm going to apply this all over the gasket, let it tack up a little bit. I'm going to let that dry for a couple of minutes, then do the other side, and then slap it on the ring over here. I'm also going to put a little bit on his face over here of this ring. Let that dry up for a couple of minutes too. Okay, now pop this on. If you see some dry spots, you could apply some more, just because the cork might absorb it. And just line up the holes. Make sure you find the holes. Now I'm going to put some gasket sealer on this side. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do while I wait for this to tack up a little bit, I took all the rubber O-rings, took them off this flange over here and put them all in the bolts. And now I'm just going to put the bolts in through with the gasket. Just like that. Okay, so I just put a couple of bolts in and to hold the gasket in place. Now we're going to go ahead and install this. Try to line it up with the holes. ahead and try to thread these in. And they're grabbing. Go ahead and put the other bolts in. Alright, so I went in the star pattern a couple times, torquing down slowly. What you want to do is you want to hold the ratchet like this. And just have, once you feel a little bit of resistance, go a little bit more of a turn, maybe a quarter turn, and you're good. You don't want to over tighten this, you don't want to snap the screws. So this is all good. All tight. Now this has a lot of crud in it. I don't want this going in the gas tank, so I'm just going to spray some brake parts cleaner and clean this all up. Okay, now this goes in like this. The pointy end goes towards the front of the car. And you just gotta scrunch it up and pop this in. I also put a towel in here so nothing falls inside the gas tank. And as you can see here, it's bumped out. You just gotta press it in and push it down. Just like that, until it all seats properly in there. So that's good. Also, it's a good idea to replace the seal on his gas cap or get a new gas cap. So now you can put this back on. Okay, now this thing you guys slide it underneath. In the back over here. Just like that. And now put the 4 screws in. And they're all tight. And job done. And that's how you replace the gas filter neck gasket on a C3 Corvette. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Clowney969. See ya!